Hoeveel moet ik betalen?
Dat tot elkaar 100. Mijn enkel was hier gemaakt. Ik word iets van pijn.
Author Tracey Farren's Tess is gut-punching, easy to read, and easy to pull your face in disgust. Her lead protagonist is edgy and lives a life surrounded by darkness. This compelling story has made its way from paper to the big screen. Joining the author in studio is Director Meg Rickards. Ladies, thank you very much for joining me from our Sea Point studios. Tracey, let's start with you. Tracey, can you hear me? Good morning.
Okay, we're on air.
Yes, I can hear you.
Hi, I can hear you.
I've read the book. I couldn't put it down. It is insane where you went with the story. But for the benefit of our viewers, we saw a little bit of the trailer. What is this about?
Tess is about a girl who has fallen to the ranks of a street prostitute. She worked her way through the higher echelons of prostitution, and now she's on the streets, addicted to painkillers. And all she wants to do is not feel, not think, barely be. And then one day, a condom breaks, and she becomes pregnant, and her whole world is just flipped upside down. And from there, it's an incredible, tumultuous journey to find out who she was before all the numbness.
Yeah. I'm going to talk to Meg in a couple of seconds, but I need to talk to you about Tess. For me, she's just this human monster, Tracey, that lives in the dark, but dreams of the light constantly. You've created a character that I am repulsed by, disgusted, and at the same time, I love Tess.
Yeah, it is like that. It is like that. I felt the same way when I was writing her. I thought, no, I can't possibly hang out with her. But I was so in love with her that she just drew me on. She has an amazing sense of humor and glimpses of light. She has a premonition of light, and she somehow senses deep down, she knows it's there. She just has to go and find it, and unfortunately, she's forced to.
Meg, what was it about this story that you got involved with, that you wanted to tell? Because what you can't forget is this book is incredibly pacey. It's got dark humor. It's got very strong characters. How did you approach this?
I read Tracey's book and I was blown away. I completely fell in love with the character Tess and was so moved by her journey. And I just became determined that this was a story which had to be told on the screen. I was so impassioned to make it, and I felt it was important to show it in all its complexity and not to whitewash anything, not to sanitize anything, but to keep the story intact as possible. It just seemed absolutely imperative to bring the story to the screen. I became obsessed with it.
Was it a delicious story to tell, though? Because there's a pace here that Tracey gets right from the first word all the way through the book. When you do a movie, is it easy to relate pace?
A movie is such a different animal to a book. It's a completely different art form. So you have to change the structure. If you were to try and put that whole book onto the screen, it would be a long series. There's no way you can do it in a feature. So it's almost like you have to capture the pace and the essence and the themes of the original, but also do something quite different for it to work in the very different medium that is a movie. So it's about respecting the original, but also doing something different.
Yeah. Tracey, we're talking about the paciness, we're talking about the wit, we're talking about the way it actually snaps at you throughout this book. Little things like how you've changed the characters. From the moment Tess meets somebody, he goes from a name to Camouflage or Pastry or Limp Lenny. Was that kind of the idea at the beginning? Because there's also a serious humor in the way she sees those people.
I think that's one of her defense mechanisms. These guys are paying her to get naked, and yeah, you know what follows. But her way of empowering herself, so that she's not just submitting and not just presenting herself as a collection of body parts, is to distance herself and be superior to them. So yes, she gave them nicknames, and they're quite derogatory actually. There's hints of affection in some of them. You know, the more neutral ones, those are the people that she likes. But yeah, well, that's not strictly true, because Limp Lenny became her closest ally.
Yeah. You know, it's not. I've never interviewed an author and a director in the same setting, especially when you talk from a book, going from a book to a major motion picture. How important was it? And I'm throwing this question at Meg, but I'd like your input as well, Tracey. How important was it to find the embodiment of Tess in the actress? Did you have to agree, or was that a Meg decision?
Yeah. No, that was entirely Meg's decision, but it was entirely the director's decision. I wrote the final draft. I gave it to her on a flat piece, on some flat paper, and Meg then was entirely responsible for creating that as a 3D human counterparts. And so she was kind enough to show me some of the casting tapes in the beginning, and we were all, everybody concerned, were completely just captivated by Christia.
Meg, talk to me.
Christopher, I strongly believe she was the very best decision that we could have made. She embodies Tess so beautifully and takes Tess to a very deep, dark, often space. She's a wonderful actress, and she puts in such a courageous performance. So I think we were all really thrilled with that casting decision. It was such an important decision because Tess is in every scene of the movie, and she really takes you to places. And it was important for me that the viewer could empathize with her completely. And Christopher is really a startlingly wonderful actress, and I'm so proud of where she went with this part.
Meg, we're going to leave it there. Tracey, thank you very much for joining us from our Sea Point studios. Author Tracey Farren of the book called, it used to be called Whiplash, is now called Tess, and the director of Tess, Meg Rickards, talking to us about a book that has now turned into a major motion film. Highly recommend it. It's a fantastic read. Go and get it. We take an ad break. Don't go anywhere.